All right, guys, this is Shaq Maverick here, back at it again with another video. And I'm here to share with you guys the top 8 things that could make money for the next 50 years. Now, the information is officially making history. We're in the process of the next big hit of development for humanity. And man, I gotta tell you, it's exciting. It's like the next huge wave. All right, we're in the process that's involving like with telehealth, social network, fintech, blockchain, all those incredible things. Like we can't live without at this point. It's like it's just here for what it is. I'm here to share with you what are those 8 things that you could be doing to make money. Again, no money down. You're going to be pooling in, being resourceful. You're going to not be depleting your own resources for how you'll be making money again for the next 50 years. Now, I want to get out of the way for you simps out there expecting some sort of typical salary model of being hired, to pay me now and let me get on my life and business elsewhere kind of mentality. No, this whole thing with even like these employee benefits and all that stuff. Like this video isn't for you unless you are broke and your employer would never even pay you more than a salary. And I believe that was a scam long overdue. The reason why I could say that is because I've had my employers that they paid me not only in just salary when I was working for other people, but also I was just like making deals. I was just getting paid per project and they write me a check, my name. Okay. Now, not trying to say that to make you feel bad. You got other models that you yourself can create and getting paid on hand. You got commission for purchases, all right? You got percentages of profits based on those successful projects, You got percentages and profits based on the success of projects, okay? They call them in defers and in accountants, but don't worry too much about that part. The last one is also like returns of investments per projects, okay? Like corporate bonds, equity ownership. Again, don't focus too much on the details, when it comes to finance, all right? Just relax. I'm going to break it down for you, hold your hand every step of the way if I need be on why it's all important. Just stick with it on the series and enjoy the fudging ride, all right? Now, with this recession approaching, a whole like depressionary state, I would say, people need to find ways to make money with all of this expenses they paid. Now, the only thing you'd be needing in this day and age is just your little computer, okay? Israel, this is a computer, okay? It's a pocket computer. I still call it PC. You can get just a laptop or, again, just a little smartphone. You can do that, all right? Now, those are the essentials. Everything else is available as like open source software, and they're all ready for you to download. And most of it, virtually all of it, is free, okay? It's all free. So let's just jump into it with leading number 1. And lease your smartphone, okay? You can use the camera themselves right here, and you can use it as where you can start making films. You can rent this out to filmmakers themselves, content creators, people who don't want to be investing the money and buying cameras, all that stuff. They don't need to do any of those kind of things. They could be using they want to be writing great scripts. They don't want to be doing something like I got to go invest $500 or $1,000 in this economy. On a camera, again, it only does one thing, record. And, if it's a really decent camera, you could hit the share button thing on it. But then it's like when you get like better at what you're doing as making content, you'd want where you're going to be, okay, a business person wants to promote their product, right? They're going to be looking for a lot of marketing. So the marketer himself, being the content creator, is going to be needing to use stuff like phones, not just one phone, but multitude of really decent, high quality resolution smartphones. They can do that to be filming all sorts of like movies or product placements, those kind of things, just to brand market some sort of piece of content, anything, don't matter. People, I think about 6 years ago, found it stupid. Like they found that so funny and ridiculous. Like, no, it made sense. Actually, maybe even earlier than that. But I think it was still people still found it kind of stupid. I think today it's a little more open-minded, where you could make films from just using your smartphone. Like, look at some films that were made with just iPhones. I don't recall the movies right now at the moment, but I know if you Google it, what are like phones made, what are movies made with smartphones? There's some really decent movies made with smartphones you wouldn't even know. People are using those more now. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's just what it is. You can be charging people like $10 an hour for this, okay? Just to use this, okay? $15 an hour, $20 an hour, all right? And all they're doing is just recording something to make a project that's going to make you money. You can sign terms and agreements, and then they can pay you electronically, Cash is more riskier, but ePay is more secured, okay? Like you got PayPal, Amazon Pay, Square Pay, Apple Pay, Google Pay, even Facebook coming out with this new cryptocurrency called Libra. You can use that, okay? Come on, guys. Come on, guys, seriously. Like you can do all those kind of stuff, like sky's the limit to what you can do. You could even do it in a way where, okay, instead of getting paid hourly, you can do it where, okay, if the success of the project is they're going to make certain amount of revenue, you can get a commission just for them using the equipment. You can work that kind of thing with filmmakers too. And the filmmakers themselves can also do that, or content creators, sorry, I don't even know, you can call them filmmakers at that point, but it is something where you can start and everyone can do that instead of just selling your phone for like what, half the value what you bought it for like a year or two ago, or maybe even quarter the value. Come on, or you're trying to sell it for half the value, but so much other models exist. Okay, you try selling like an iPhone 10 and tell me if it's going to be the same value you spent it in. It making a lot of sense. Now, number two, you have this one. I think I call it you being a PTA. Okay, everyone's going to need a PTA in this day and age. From right now to later, everyone's going to need a PDA. And a PDA itself is being not that PDA of like some little small phone device they had with like a BlackBerry. No, I'm talking about a personal technician aggregator. Okay, that right there is where you yourself are making repairs and upgrades, or improvements to electronic devices. Okay, you're going to be doing software configuration where you're going to be installing just programs and apps on people devices like phones or tablets, their computers, all that stuff. You're going to be doing hardware installment where people in them are ordering set of hardware they can't do it themselves. They hire someone like you for half or less the amount they're going to spend with some other professional to do that sort of thing for them. They don't got the time to learn it. Some aren't interested in learning it. Some will just pay someone just to get that out of the way for them. You're going to even be building personalized computers, customizing those kind of things you can do. You could even do something where you do like utility deals for people where you can be a mediator for them and you yourself would be doing something where, okay, they can knock the price down with their utility provider and they can save money on like the utilities they're using, like the Lite themselves, internet, especially internet, even telecommunication, anything like that. Like we're just picking up on the phone, something like that you can do to help them reduce the amount of like money they got to pay on their bill. And I'll get more in details of that with that utility deal one in just a second. Just to let you know, this is $1 trillion industry that everyone themselves going to try. You want to be the first one ahead to get into, okay? Because it's going to be involving where you're going to use in space, because you see SpaceX, you see Tesla, you see Blue Origin. They're all launching up now, trying to get out in space to go to Mars and other planets, interplanetary travel. That's going to be a hot thing. Now, interplanetary telecommunication, think about it, okay? Half the world's only set up with internet, half the world. Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and them on a mission to try and connect the other half online, okay? Look it up, seriously. It's a really, really good industry. Don't miss out on. So I call them PDA, by the way, it's patent pending approval, just so you know that. I'm trying to steal it. I'm just flipping the joke. Oh, and for PTA itself, they make around from $30 to say $10,000 per project. It depends. It varies very much, but you can charge a lot of people money just for that, and they appreciate it because you're saving them a lot more cash on hand instead of having to deal with so many different providers. You're like literally trying to minimize things for them and make their work a lot easier. People pay money for that. Okay, I do that like sometimes, not enough, but it's getting there soon. It's getting there real soon. So number 3, virtual consultation. This one's I'm going to go in a little bit more in depth about the PTA of what people are going to be doing. Let me just get out the way quick with content aggregation. This is where something where you yourself are putting content together on a static page, a web page. Like, okay, someone's got a website, they're looking for you to make content for them. Can you write something? Okay, when you blog, or you take a blogger's work and you add a podcasting in that page. Like, here's the blog page here. Here's the podcast area here. Can you add something else like the social media options? People in them to like click on our other social medias, maybe even share it to those media platforms. You see, we either want inbound of them going on more of our social medias, or we want them outbound, sharing it out to those social medias. We want that kind of thing. Okay. Even something where it's like advertisements on it. You're gonna stick advertisements on that same web page for the website owner. Okay, either whether they have a business or whether they have a brand or whether they have some sort of like intellectual property itself or some sort of like I don't know, you could say like digital platform everyone's trying to get on right now. Okay, everyone needs that, especially when it comes to getting a job. Like, that's the kind of thing people are just into. That's the whole thing you could do as a virtual consultant. You can do that for people and charge them a lot of money, which I'll tell you in just a second. And then not only with just content aggregation, you can do system integration itself and providing turnkey solutions to people. You are basically solving someone's problem that they can't handle, where you yourself are making it easier for them. This is what you can do, virtual consultation, okay? Not just something where you can do booking appointments with people, because you can do that. You can cold call and you can book appointments for companies or even people or even the person themselves who are looking for more business. You can do that for them. Okay. You can sort out emails and applications and people's devices, and softwares they're using. Hey, sort this out for me. Fix it all together. Boom. A kid like who's in this, like, I don't know, second or third grade, they can do this kind of thing. Okay. You can be a mediator again with the whole people with like utility bills. You can do that sort of thing, which kind of has like a branch to PTA itself. You could do that sort of stuff. Okay. You could even do stuff like where you upgrade artificial intelligence data mining, for people who are looking where, hey, can I use this AI to do certain things, like speak certain things for me, present a presentation, book an appointment with me? Can you do that sort of stuff? People are going to be using it more than ever, It's about artificial intelligence. They're going to be using that a lot more than ever. I'm already using it myself, but it's easy too. It's like once I set up for someone, shit, a monkey could do it. You know what I'm saying? A monkey could use it. Now, develop it, different story, but even so, it's still not that difficult. But people are going to be paying for that kind of stuff. That's the kind of thing you can do too. You can go on Alexa itself or Google and just start adding in extra data it's missing, and boom, you're doing that. You're contributing. You're helping the AI itself develop, become a lot more smarter. That's going to help people who are simple, not able to function. Okay, you're going to do that kind of thing. Like, that's a multi-billion dollar to $1 trillion industry itself. Okay, that people pay a lot of money for already. And to add to that as well, just lastly to this virtual consultation part, you yourself could even do captive financing, platforming. You can do that sort of thing where you could work with renters and leasers, people in them who are looking to purchase anything, to buy anything. You could provide financial planning for them. You can do that sort of stuff as a virtual consultant. You can do that, man. You could be charging as little, like, say, I don't know, like maybe like you do it for like, say, 20, $30 an hour kind of thing. Or you can do it where per project, doing the sort of thing for them. You can go as little as like, I don't know, like a percentage going 15, 20%, that kind of thing. When you're putting it all in one sort of package, you can package that whole thing together for people. And persons in about that, companies need that more than ever, because there's a thing called like disoriented data, like assessing. People need that kind of stuff. All right. All right. Now, this is another thing some people will be taking up and making money for the next 50 years. Number 4, healthcare assistance. All right. This is something where you could be doing senior care, taking care of the elderly, basically. So that means pediatrician, where you're taking care of kids. You're doing telehealth, where you're picking up the phone and you're doing customer service with people. You're helping them out. You're doing a lot for them where, hey, they're low on supplies. You're calling a provision center or some sort of health center or a provider, the doctor, the PCP themselves, where they need certain refills or they need certain recommendations that they can take with their health products, where it's like, hey, if I take this certain drug, can I take it with this drug too? It's like a NyQuil and like a what do you call it, Advil sort of thing. As an example now, just an example. It's like, can I take the both? Can I take this herbal medicine too with it? Or is it not advised? Like, people are going to be needing that sort of thing. So, they don't end up ODing and, taking their own lives if they don't handle things properly. They're going to need that kind of thing. You're going to be also needing mentalism as well. You're going to be needing some sort of trainer that's going to get you to actually feel more like inbound of having a strong mind. Okay. People are going to be needing that sort of thing where they're going to be trained that kind of thing. That's why you need mentalism. So that way you don't break, you don't lose your mind, you don't cave into like suicidal thoughts or homicidal activities. You know what I'm saying? Or any sort of like things that's going to have you become more psychotic, or you become more of a sociopath, everything that's going on right now, especially how people are so like distant from each other with social distancing. People won't be knowing how to like react to each other like that anymore. So you're going to be finding ways to help them, retrain themselves to actually communicate with human beings. Like that's something that's going to be very essential. You're even going to be having like therapeutic companionship. For some people, maybe don't want to be trained. They're actually going to need some sort of person they can just talk to, that they can level with, that they can feel like they can share the way they feel, about things, what they need to feel, get educated on, how they themselves can, help, just have someone they can talk to. Like you need that kind of thing. Like everyone needs someone that they can talk to. Because we as human beings, we're someone who just we socialize, like there's something you can't take away from us, like no matter what, like it's kind of our essential thing to do. Like that's how we came across, just living up to this point. And then even like dental care, I don't know if we get into that, it's just to deal with, your mouth area. Anyone does that. It's a really decent job. It's a whole global, like it's a multi-billion dollar, approaching $1 trillion market as well. But I know it has exponential growth itself, where you would really want to miss out on. Like it's very much a very huge, viable sort of industry to get into, and a certain sort of skill you can do, because all you're doing is just basically you'd be making like, say, I don't know, 40, no, not even 40, but I know like around $15 minimum you could charge to take care of people's like parents, the grandparents, or maybe even look after their kids and make sure that they're healthy. For some who are like the disabled, you're gonna need those people with wheelchair. Okay, people in them who are like already sick or suffering from all sorts of comorbidities that their relatives can't either risk their health on, or they're too vulnerable. They don't want to intensify the certain exposure to a certain disease. They don't want to do that. So if they can get someone who's like an assistant in either the senior care or pediatrician, or either their grandparent or their kids, that's going to help take care of them. They need that kind of thing. Okay. It's a really, really big, hot industry right now. A lot of people should be getting into. Look at the layoffs of doctors right now. Look at that. That shows you a lot of doctors right now are all like unemployed. That means either now they got to be more independent as contractors, and they're going to have to find a way to get more clients. They're going to need that, and they're going to need more assistance, but they don't have the facility for it. Henceforth, you get another assistant. You're going to be working even with virtual assistants too. Again, telehealth, it's hot. So put a healthcare assistance thing, you could be charging, again, it's like little as like say $100, $99 to like around $110,000 a year you could be making, like it's a really, really viable industry. So you don't want to miss out on that. Number 5, this one's more proactive and fragmented. It's dealing with courtship and like social application. So you're paying for companionship based on a relationship building sort of like exercise. It's more based on sexually explicit content, and brand marketing itself, a place where people can trust, despite it being more of like a courtship service. It's like online dating kind of thing. People are going to be looking for that. People usually be making, well, say pornography, the pornography industry, a lot of actors be making like around $375, like a shoot, a scene, that's it. So like around $10,000 a month. Okay. Like that's something too you can make a lot of money from. Not really my cup of tea in, just trying to breeze through it quickly. But for Vice News themselves, they reported that for pornographers, they make an average of like around $300 to $500 like per shoot. All right. Just that kind of thing. The revenue in the online dating segment is like a multi-million-dollar industry. So you've been making quite a lot of money, and its compound annual growth rate is around 9% by 2024. Sorry, 9.3% by 2024. So it's a lot that you could expect that it's going to be projecting going up, and probably even more because of this whole pandemic. So try that, like that's something also interesting too. You can check out even the link sources, whatever, like Statista, Cannot pronounce that for nothing. I know one thing, with the online dating industry itself, it has like over 100 millions of users, okay? And that's a month. Yeah, again, interesting industry. Number 6, okay, you got logistics and market analysis. Now, you'll be dealing with just data analysis, market research, data mining, encryptions, malware compromises. Oh, and I love this one, corporate espionage itself. This is when you'll be working and coordinating with like virtual assistants themselves, where you're being like a private investigator for companies. This has something to do with like mystery shopping per se concept. If you guys know about mystery shopping, if not, just basically you're being an inspector, but anonymously for like companies, but it's got some complication to it and much of a high risk tweak that they got to fix out. But for corporate espionage itself, if you could find a company or if there are persons that are going to be establishing companies and make it legit, you could have private investigators look into other companies to make sure franchises are following the company guidelines and their morals on how they run their business. You know, that's why they're most leading, like say the McDonald's franchise. Like if they look for a PI, private investigator, to look into their business to make sure the franchisees are doing exactly what they have their company believe in, they can do that. You know, and they can either be a customer, they can be an employee going to work there and being approved. They can be a supplier, and they can even be like an investor themselves. You know, you're gonna want that investigation in a company to see what's up. You need a mode, like people are gonna always need that. Like that's what it is. You can check even micro trends themselves. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry itself. Transportation and finances, especially, they're gonna really need that. Okay, traveling itself is one of those essential components in closing project agreements, like since the dawn of humanity. The project agreements are just basically you're saying, yes, tick, sign my name, let's do this deal, but I need to see you in person. I need to know if you're real. You know, it could be a robot, AI with manipulative faces, it could be, making things up. So people really do still need to see people and feel them out. You know, the handshake itself, that's staying, baby. Nothing wrong with that. People are saying the handshake's dead because it is a C virus, but no, it's still an essential thing. We still, as human beings, initiate touch. This is what we do. But for logistics and marketing analysis, you can be making from like almost a quarter, making up to a quarter of $100,000 a year. Okay, really hot industry too, I'd say. It's a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Number 7. Next one being number 7 itself, you are in the competitive gaming. You know, it ranges you making like over half. I'm just going to get straight to it quick because this one's more mainstream. But you could be making like over half $100,000 a year. You could be streaming online and gaining like a massive dedicated following. You could be developing virtual softwares themselves. That's like, the simulators, the games. You could be making the games themselves, what I'm saying, in case you didn't catch that. You can be competing in gaming tournaments and win for money legally. You can do customer service. You can do journalism and gaming. That's like publication, basically. And you'll be earning like, I'd say like a quarter to 100,000 if you're doing that. And you just get paid all electronically, just gain a massive following. You can get signed even to esport teams, The average esport player, they make like around $1,000 to $5,000 per month. Okay. It's insane. All right. That's like about $60,000 a year. All right. And it's grown massively and still growing more and more every year. Now, it's at least on my list because, people are always making money playing video games since like the 90s and stuff. It's just become more viable and more easier due to advertisements. But people could have did that just way less because no one had the innovation and the advanced technology now to make it easier. Now just everyone and anyone could do it. That's the thing. But you could have made money from it since the 90s. And I was too young, obviously. 94. So by the time I was 5, I wouldn't even know. You know what I'm saying? And then I didn't even have a decent computer at that time. But if I did, I would have been doing it as a project, a little experiment. But there's no shoulda, woulda. It's just life. Whoever made money from it, congrats to you. I wish I was born sooner. Or I don't know, maybe later. It itself has been projected quite highly. Okay, it's something you don't miss out on. It's actually like the second most streamed sport in the world, right below NFL. And then I think third to them is FIFA itself. So sports go a long way, especially like sports going a long way. Now, the last one being content aggregation. This one is dealing with the virtual consultation or PTA, just on a depth where you yourself are taking content, like going on a website, right? Going on one page to start, a static page, and you're putting a blog together, you're putting a podcast together, and you're going to put something like comments or social media links. You can either inbound, where people in them are visiting your social media, or you can outbound, where people are sharing it on social media. You know what I'm saying? You're doing that sort of thing, and people will pay money. It's all a variety range of what you can make. It depends. You can do it based on commission. You can do it based on percentages and deals of profit. You can do it on royalties as long as the project works. And you could even do it in equity, bond, shareholding, or like in supplies and provision. Again, a little more complicated. Don't worry with the details of it. The point is you have options of how you yourself could be making money from it. It's all publication itself. A lot of website owners, including business people or even store managers, all the kind of guys, or people that move in commercial stores or brick and mortar based business, they're gonna be looking for content aggregators a lot like crazy to help them with their websites. People that are already in lead making their own websites who are independent, they're already ahead. They're already content aggregators. They already have one or two on their team. And it's more common, I think, more on young people instead of old people. Old people can't get into this fast enough. By the time they figure it out, it's already a hot new thing. We as millennials and Zoomers already figured out, like, quick. We grew up on tech. Well, yeah, we grew up on tech. And I'd say Zoomers, they were born in it. No, we were born in it and they grew up with it. I don't know, some kind of sense to it where you'd say, for us, we grew up where it's changed a lot. And for Zoomers, they grew up where it's been most advanced and more easy to use. Just for people on my phone. Couldn't leave me alone for like half hour. Yeah. So again, you could be making like from say what, like $100 a day with it, up to about say $700,000 a year with it. Okay. These are the kind of things I believe people are going to be making money in from here on to the next 50 years with $0 down. Like, I think that's just what it is. I believe that's where it's going to go. People are going to be using some form of these top 8 things that you're going to be using, no money down. It's a beautiful thing. It's incredible, It's a lot to it, but those are the top 8, Like, so what are you waiting on? Like, after watching the video you have so far, go, go make your money. Go start doing these things. Go apply them. I welcome you to. It's free. I'm Shaq Maverick. People know me for being an economic developer. I'm a trusted technician, all right? And as Lucayan's chief executive business developer, it's my duty to share this content for you to share with your friends and family. If you find the content quite valuable, like it. And if you didn't, I don't even know why you're still watching. I have no idea why you're still watching, And if you really want to see more content, you can subscribe so you can see more, Link should be in the description below. You know what? I'd say don't subscribe, so you can miss out on more of the other exclusive contents from my following, It's on you. It's up to you. Now, I'd love to hear from where you guys are from, by the way, the content stuff you're watching. Like, let me know, like, where you guys from, comment below, show me some love, And for those of you who are impatient, watch some more of my videos in the annotation itself by the end of the video. I think for one of the first ones, or probably on the side, who knows? I had like interviews from Black Lives Movement protesters. We call them now. They're like entertainers as well. In Philly. You can watch that, or you can watch the other one or two here. For persons and them, for like, I don't know, like you school kids out there, you teenagers, you tweens, you can click one of the top somewhere where, the things I wish I knew when I was younger. You can do that. You can click that one and watch that. It helps you improve your mental health. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, peace.